Look up at the night sky. On a clear night, you might see a tiny reddish dot. It's not just another star. That is Mars. For thousands of years, humans have watched this planet. It moves across the sky in a special way. Its red color made ancient people think of fire and war. They named it after their gods of war. But as we learned more, our ideas about Mars changed. We started to see it not as a god, but as another world. A world we could maybe, just maybe, visit one day. The dream of Mars grew bigger with science. We built telescopes, we pointed them at that red light. What we saw was amazing. We saw ice caps, just like on Earth. We saw what looked like channels or canals. Some people thought these were built by intelligent beings. How do you explore a world millions of kilometers away? You can't just send people. Not yet, anyway. It's too far, too dangerous, and too expensive. So what do? You send robots. For decades, brilliant scientists and engineers at places like NASA have been building robotic explorers. These are not like the robots you see in movies. They are some of the most advanced machines ever created. They are our eyes, our hands, and our scientific instruments on other worlds. These robotic explorers are called rovers. Think of them as geologists on wheels. They are built to be tough. Sending a rover to Mars is a team effort. It takes thousands of people from all over the world. The journey to Mars is long and dangerous. On January 4th, 2004, it was time to land. Landing on Mars is one of the hardest things in space exploration. The entire landing was a heart-stopping, perfectly choreographed dance of science and engineering. Success. Spirit had landed safely. From its landing platform, Spirit took its first pictures. They were breathtaking. The rover had landed in a place called Gusev Crater. After a few days of system checks, it was time for Spirit to roll. The rover drove down the ramp of its lander and onto the red soil of Mars. The hills on the horizon were about 2.5 kilometers away. Getting there would be a huge challenge. The long trek to the Columbia Hills began. High up on the side of a hill, Spirit made its most important discovery yet. The rock was full of minerals that, on Earth, almost always form in the presence of water. Just 3 weeks after Spirit, Opportunity was set for its own dramatic arrival. The landing was perfect, but it was also incredibly lucky. It had landed inside a small impact crater. On the floor of the crater, scattered across the dark red soil, were countless tiny gray spheres. They looked like little blueberries sprinkled over a red cake. Using these tools, the team found evidence of gentle currents of flowing water. The blueberries were incredibly rich in hematite, powerful evidence for water. The conclusion was undeniable. Opportunity was sitting in what was once the shoreline of an ancient salty sea on Mars. With its primary mission accomplished, Opportunity just kept going. For years, Opportunity trekked across the flat plains. The journey took 3 years. It was a true Martian marathon. In 2011, Opportunity finally arrived at the rim of Endeavour Crater. In 2018, a new threat emerged. A small local dust storm began to grow. It quickly exploded into a planet-encircling dust storm. The team tried for more than 8 months, sending over 1,000 recovery commands, but there was no response. With heavy hearts, NASA officially declared the Opportunity mission complete. NASA set its sights on an even more ambitious goal. The next step was to actively search for signs of ancient life itself. This new explorer was named Perseverance. Perseverance is a true heavyweight champion of Mars exploration. It carries a suite of 7 complex scientific instruments, each designed for the search for biosignatures. The landing sequence was an upgraded version used for Curiosity, but it was still the 7 minutes of terror. The final stage was the most spectacular. The sky crane maneuver. Touchdown confirmed, Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars. For the first time, NASA had cameras and microphones on the landing system itself. Perseverance's destination was Jezero Crater. Billions of years ago, it was filled with water. The rover began its investigation at the base of the delta. For the first time ever, a rover is designed to drill into the most promising rocks and seal samples in ultra-clean metal tubes. Perseverance did not travel to Mars alone. Tucked away on its belly was a small experimental companion, a helicopter named Ingenuity. Flying in the Martian atmosphere is incredibly difficult. The air is extremely thin, only about 1% as dense as Earth's atmosphere. Then, on April 19th, 2021, the moment of truth arrived. Ingenuity lifted off the ground, hovered for about 30 seconds, and landed safely. Humanity had achieved powered flight on another world. The tech demo, planned for 5 flights, completed an astonishing 72 flights over nearly 3 years, proving the value of aerial exploration. Behind every image and discovery from Mars, there is a massive team of dedicated people back on Earth. These missions are the result of thousands working together. The drivers are like virtual explorers, using 3-dimensional glasses to plot safe paths. The scientists are like detectives, piecing together Mars's geological story. When something breaks on a Mars rover, the mission team becomes a long-distance repair crew. These challenges test creativity and ingenuity to their absolute limits. These teams form deep personal connections with the rovers. When Opportunity's mission ended, people cried for the loss of their robotic partner. The stories of spirit, opportunity, and perseverance are more than tales of amazing machines. They transformed an entire planet in our imagination. These rovers completely rewrote the book on Mars. They found overwhelming proof that Mars was once a very different planet with lakes, seas, rivers, and possibly hot springs. The next great challenge is Mars sample return, bringing pieces of another planet back to Earth for study in the best laboratories in the world. The dream that started with a reddish dot in the night sky is getting closer. The adventures of spirit, opportunity, and perseverance have paved the way, turning a distant dream into a future destination for humanity. They have inspired millions to look up at that red dot and see not a point of light, but a whole world waiting for us. The Great Red Planet adventure continues.